Hey everybody. Happy Friday. Hey Red Fox, Ekilon, Mills, SJW, Lifehack, Inner Glow, Missouri. Helen, thanks for the host. Been warming up for the last half in prep for the stream. Really? Oh my god, I'm so excited. You're gonna paint with us? Guys, last night there was a big scare, okay? Map crunch was down for like like 2 hours. It was a big panic moment. um, so I was looking at some landscapes on randomstreetview.com as like an alternative. So I found a couple good ones actually, but MapCrunch is back, so we're safe. But yeah, so I think most of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then yeah, we use mapcrunch.com to find references. It takes images from Google Street View, and this website I'm kind of obsessed with. And then last night it crashed or whatever. It was just down, and I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Hey Waffle, Tarmika, Legion Reaper. Hey guys. Inner Glow! Thank you for the sub. You guys. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the stream. Enjoy the emotes and everything. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna open the links from Mills. Also, you can download some artwork from the subs page. When I finally finish my OC, she's gonna be up there too in high res. Under the water. Ooh, this is very pretty. So we're gonna decide on something to paint. I like this, I like this. I use this time to work on my tree. Life hack, I was looking for references for trees because I want to do some tree studies, and I actually did a little tree sketching, designing last night. And guys, look at this. There's a website. I was like, oh, I need to find pictures of trees. There's literally a website called treepictures.com. Okay, the design of the website, you know, it's not super fancy, but look, it has all the trees organized by the type of tree and pictures that you can see what they look like. I mean, it's actually really good, I think. You can look at all these different trees. It's really funny that it's treepictures.com. I don't know why that's funny, but thanks for the follow. Oh, Mad Fluff, hey. Helen says, I went on an epic ref hunt on Pexels, results of which I have lots of interesting new images, none of which fit my planned project, and I've lost the will to live. Helen, I'm so sorry. But if you like any of those and you want to suggest them for art club, maybe we can still do something with them. Hey, Usti. Oh, thanks, Legion. Hey, Noobster. I would like to suggest this one. All right, let's check it out. I think I saw some nighttime ones in the Discord too. Ooh, this is cool. Slovenia. Wow, it's very ominous. Very ominous. There's a website for anything. So yeah, maybe we can do some tree drawings. I can show you guys the one I did last night. Oh, I missed one. Oh no. Okay. That's very pretty too. I like it whenever you can see through the water and you get that gradient of like the blue to the warm brown. This always happens when you have like warm color to the sand or rocks or whatever. It's really nice. You did see a few that you thought would fit art club? Well, that would be awesome. Hey, Mr. Random Knees. Hey, Old River. Have you ever thought of doing the landscapes and adding a castle or character? We've talked about it before. It's something that like every once in a while we'll kind of turn the scene into something different. Most of the time we just stick to studying from the reference. I'm not against like getting into that kind of thing in the future, but for the sake of people being able to like paint along and do kind of make it a group thing, it's really it really like simplifies the process to just pick a reference and do a study of that particular thing. But yeah, guys, you're welcome to send suggestions in to the chat, and I will look really quick at the Discord because I think I saw some a nighttime scene in there. So I thought maybe that would be cool. Let me just skim through here. Yeah, there are a couple. Yeah, some really good ones in the Discord. Nice. Lindra, thank you for the raid. Welcome. Thank you, thank you. We are just getting started over here. I like this one. I remember this one. I remember this one being a suggestion in the past. Hey Lindra, I hope you had a great stream. Thank you for the raid. We're literally just getting started here, so that's really nice of you. You guys came at a good time if you want to help us decide what we're gonna draw, what we're gonna paint. And if you guys don't know Lindra, she's a sweetheart and does some really beautiful artwork. So I hope you will go follow. I'm doing really good, Noobster. It's yeah, it's been a good day so far. I'm gonna start putting the selection up for us. We've already got a bunch of good options. So let's do that. You guys can keep suggesting if you want over the next minute or so, but we already got some solid ones. Like, look at these shapes. This is cool. This is very clean looking, I think. Hey Tesla. Saw you were looking for some backgrounds, landscapes. Yes. Yeah, the usual. Yeah, usual virtual plein air. Where was that one from Waffle? That one was interesting. We can throw this one in there. I think this one will be a little difficult, but good challenge maybe. Oh, Mr. Randomness! The 17th of May today, Norwegian Constitution Day, kind of like the 4th of July. Big deal, and everybody's dressed up, going to families, hanging, partying, having a very nice time. However, I don't have any plans for today. Sounds a bit sad, but maybe it is, but I'm staying home and getting some work done. Wish I had plans, but it's all right. I got you in chat, so it's all good. Maybe I'll see some fireworks later if I feel like it. Oh, Mr. Randomness. I saw at Dunby posted a picture of herself like all dressed up. She always does her like wears the full outfit every year. I don't know all the names of the things that she's wearing, but she did explain it before. That's right. Well, I'm honored that you're hanging out with us today, and you know what? There's a lot of, for me, I used to feel a lot of like social pressure to always do something on these certain days, and you know, there's obviously like the genuine side of it where like you just, it's fun and you want to go and hang out with people and share those times, but at the same time sometimes there's a lot of pressure that makes it like heavier than it needs to be. Like, it's okay to take a day for yourself and you can still recognize it, you know, without necessarily going somewhere, doing something, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, don't feel pressured. It's okay to just relax, and I'm happy that you're here. More coffee? Okay, more coffee. I'm just gonna narrow these down. I think these might be the 4. Let me see what Helen said. Ah, we love you too. Oh, cool lighting. Guys, I like where this is going. We've got a lot of man, this is a cool palette too. All right, I'm gonna check another one from Helen, and then we'll decide here. I think I'm gonna. Wow, this one's really interesting. Okay, I think I will use. I'm gonna have to post some of these in the Discord. Is this one already in the Discord? Was this from Mills? I'm gonna need to post some of these in Discord. We have too many good ones this time. But I think this one is really unique. Something we haven't done. Okay, I think we will choose from these. And I will post a couple of the others that are that didn't get in the 4. I'll post them in the Discord because I have a bunch of good ones open on my other monitor, but it's just too many good ones. Okay, so we'll go from these. Hey, Brewing Hamster. All right, guys, let me post these in the Discord virtual plein air. There's some great ones. They're not gonna have the little preview, but the URLs will be in there. We have to hand post whenever we put a little preview image. Back in the day, we used to post in the Discord and it would automatically put a preview image. And somewhere along the way it stopped doing that, so now we have to put our own every time. If you want. If you guys are ever posting in there, you don't have to do that. I like to do it. I know Mills likes to do it, because if the links ever become broken later, I think Waffle's done a few. It's nice to have them anyway, but it's not a requirement. Hey, Muska. Time to eat for me. Lurking, so I'm here. Okay, awesome. Yeah, enjoy your food, and we'll see you later. I'm just going to grab a tissue really quick while you guys are voting. I'm sorry about this, but I have a little bit of allergies today. I feel mostly okay, but I just need to grab my tissues. So I'll leave the vote up, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, thank you for waiting. Start a redraw of my first ever attempt to digitally paint a person. That's exciting. I love seeing people try to repaint an older scene or old character or something like that. Interested to see how far I've come in 6 years. That's a good amount of time. That's a good amount of time to do one of those exercises. I remember trying to do one once when it was like in a year had passed, and like yeah, it wasn't enough time. It wasn't enough time for me. Left a message above? Oh no, I missed it. Let me see. I'll do gouache with you guys today. It's really scary because you're so good with gouache landscapes, and I'm trying to learn how to use it, and I haven't done 10 landscapes in my life before, but maybe you can give pointers. I would be happy to, but let me just say that I do spend a lot of time on the gouache landscapes usually. I mean, I usually spend a minimum of like 6 hours, and most of them have been 12, 14, 20 hours even. So if you're doing a painting with us, if you're doing like a quick study or something, don't try to compare it. Like if I try to compare one of you know what I mean? Like that's part of it. If you're gonna compare something that you do in like a timed painting with one of those, that's just being unfair to you. So I would like to do some more shorter time studies, like sketchy stuff. I can show you an example of an artist that I follow that's been doing some really good thumbnail color practice stuff. But let me actually like look at the vote here. I'll look at the vote. But I do have some good inspiration to show you guys. So I hope. I guess I'll just say last call for voting. If anybody else wants to vote, I'm gonna grab a link really quick. I like to share like cool, inspiring artists and stuff, people that I find. So, all right, I think I got it. Let me just look it up on my browser so I can share with you. I love this artist's work. Okay, cool. So really quick, this is I will post a link in the chat real quick. This is the link to their page. The name is J Winchester Art, and look at this. Oops, there's sound. We can just ignore that. Hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah, look at this. These are not super detailed. They're thumbnails to get the color. They're just to practice They're just to practice color and not to do a lot of detail. Look at these. They're pretty amazing. Yeah, they read really well. So I feel like this is the kind of thing on even a more concise level of what we're trying to do with these speed paints, but this is like even taking it to the next level of like how what you can learn so much with this simplified thing like this. Okay, Linnea, here you go. Hi. I'm just sharing a really inspiring artist. And you can learn a lot in shorter time because you're not spending like 20 hours detailing something. You're just getting that boom, like learning something about sunset lighting, learning something about daytime lighting, learning something about like all this kind of stuff fast. Oh, Applebee! Bought those tubes of gouache? Nice. All right, guys, let me finally look at the straw poll. Sorry for taking so long. What are we gonna paint? Top right. Wow. Cool. I was expecting this one to be really close. We can do the top right. I'm going to post, I think that other one might be in the Discord. I'm gonna post this one in the Discord too, because I really like that one. It's got some super cool, clean shapes and stuff. Hi, Sniff. Yeah, it's kind of Bob Rossi here. It's true. Okay, so Mills posted the link in chat of this image. So if you guys want to move the view around and get your own composition, see where you want, how you want things to be framed. For me, I think, yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, maybe I could zoom out. That would be good. Maybe something like this seems good. I thought you liked the little house. I do. I do like that. Yeah, you guys, okay. You don't have to do this image. So here's the thing. I posted, there was a lot of good ones. I posted them all in the Discord if you want to peruse some of the other options people suggested. This is kind of a tough one for a warm-up, but you know, you guys voted for it. What can I say? I hope that means that you want to paint this. But yeah, it's a bit much. The thing is though, I will talk through my process of simplifying because that's the most important thing, and that's why this is a good challenge, is that there's a lot going on here, but it's our job as artists to simplify this and make it read well and, you know, figure out what story we want to tell from this painting. Aha, no, Helen. I like it. I like a challenge. Thanks for the follow. All right, guys. Mug warmer is on. So my setup is I use PureRef to post the reference right above on top of Photoshop in like a thumbnail view, and then I have a larger version of the reference that I put on my other monitor so I can just glance over and look if I want to see like a detailed view. Can you post the crop in Discord? Thanks, Mills. All right. Okay, so Mills is going to share the cropped version and make a reference command so everyone can grab that. I think I saw a question in the chat. What is the shortcut for the duplicate window? Oh, this thing? Or I don't know what the shortcut is. Oh, this is PureRef. So it's not part of Photoshop, but you can download it from the Nightbot link. It's a different program from Photoshop. Yeah, this is not part of Photoshop though. But all I did was I went to File New and then created a new canvas and pasted it in. That's what I did reference-wise, but this little thing is not from that. It's unrelated. You can download PureRef at the link in the chat that Nightbot posted. It's free. You can make a donation, but the program is technically free to download. Okay, so let's resize our canvas so we have something a little bit larger to work with. As far as pixels, we'll go for around 21 by 16. Yeah, there's a reason why I don't do it in Photoshop. I'm doing good. I'm doing good, Linnea. The ref is in Kyrgyzstan. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, let me just save this. Thank you, Mills. We're gonna do 75 minutes. And I'm gonna put a timer and I'll explain my process. If you guys have any questions, you can let me know. All right, is everybody ready? Is everybody ready for the timer? I'm just gonna do it. You guys can always take a little more or a little less. I don't have questions, so I'm just scared. All right, thank you for the follow. Let's get started. So I'm gonna make a new layer. Minnie Asaris, thank you for the raid, you guys. I was just hanging out in Minnie's stream right before I started, and I was almost late for stream actually because I was having so much fun in there. Minnie, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a good rest of your stream. Minnie was working on some really awesome drawings and teaching me a little bit about Copic stuff because I don't know anything about that. Thanks, Noobster. You guys are coming in right at the very, very start of a new painting, so I'm just beginning it now. How big is the canvas? It is 2,120 pixels by 1,615 pixels. It's a really random size. I just copied and pasted the reference, and whatever size that was, I just made the canvas a little bit bigger and kind of kept that aspect ratio. I don't really pay much attention to the size of these because I'm never gonna make prints of these. These are just for practice, so I kind of paint them pretty small, just to avoid lag and to not clog up my hard drives. But if I'm going to paint a proper illustration, I'll make it much larger. You know, you'll want to work at 300 DPI, and usually I'll work like 5,000, 7,000 pixels, something like that. But for these little things, I don't work very large. Oh, thank you, Minnie. If you want to share any of your drawings, you're welcome to, you know, but no rush if you want to just take a break and hang out after your stream. But I really liked that ghost demon cat. It was super cool. And the mermaid, so you're welcome to share them if you want. Pop back in a while, looking forward to getting impressed. Okay, Noobster, I'm gonna try not to let you down. Hey, Loop. Fancy schmancy wine arrived. Yes, it made it. Awesome. That's good news. Right in time for the weekend. So I'm focusing right now on just sketching out the big shapes that I see here, trying to simplify them. We'll get into a little more detail later, but right now I'm actually happy if I end up in a situation where the shapes are more pronounced and simplified, a little bit of stylization maybe. Oh, thank you, Silky. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Super Lurker, Leaf Capsule. Hey everybody. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't miss a lot in the chat. So there's a kind of weird looking mountain here, and then the house right here on the little cliff or ledge, and some more cliff mountainy areas. As this scene comes towards us, we want that feeling of overlapping areas. So some of these bushes and land formations are going to come out and sort of overlap the other ones behind it, and that's going to help show distance. So we definitely want overlapping. And some flat sand here. I think a lot of what's creating shapes in this has to do with the light and shadow rather than just an actual shape of something, you know. It's a lot of shapes are being formed by cast shadows in this picture. Wow, that's awesome, Loop. That was a good week. So I'm flipping my canvas because I want to just take a look at it from the other side and see if anything looks wonky, and it does to me. I'm gonna move this a little bit. So I usually do a fairly messy sketch just because the sketch is never going to be in my finished version. I just use it to figure out where things are going to go, and then as soon as possible we will start painting and try to get rid of the sketch. Sounds good, Minnie. Not gonna be able to make the overlapping shapes. I don't know how they're gonna read. So I do think it's gonna be a difficult one. Maybe another thing to do is kind of group them together a little bit and say like this whole area is gonna be green. Like this is all basically gonna be green. Kind of group them really large, and then within those shapes we can find more circles maybe. I won't paint along for this warm-up. I did a quick study just before. Ah, good vibes, Missouri. I like this. It's really warm feeling. We'll see you later. Think Harrison, my 2-year-old, is gonna do a landscape study? So I'm gonna give him yogurt in his spoon. All right, we're gonna flip back to the original. Yeah, it's something I'm trying to work on too, Mr. Random News. It's really, I think maybe for some people it's natural, I don't know, but for me it hasn't been a natural thing. Like it's something I've really had to practice to start seeing the shapes and being able to break things down into shapes rather than going into detail right away, or just being able to look past the detail and see the big shapes. It seems like it should be the other way around, but for some reason it's not. It's crazy. Hey Jackson. I shift my eyes out of focus a lot. That's my trick. Might be cheating, but it removes the details. You know, I hear a lot of artists actually recommend doing that, and it just gives me a headache to do it. Like it really does. I can't really do that sort of squint or cross your eyes thing to do that, but you can actually like just go in Photoshop and maybe put a blur filter over your reference. That's something that it will kind of do the same thing. I wish I could just do the squinty thing, but it always results in not feeling that great. But I do hear people talk about that as an option. Can't stay, but will audio lurk in the car. Have a nice streaming weekend. Aw, thanks Loop. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and have a safe trip. Enjoy the lurk. Okay, well, I guess we should start. We should start on the next part. I'm not stalling. Move that down a little bit. I'm gonna erase a little bit of the horizon line now that we drew over it. Don't really need it so much anymore. You can blur it. I don't squint as it makes the values darker. Sure, all the values will be correct because all the values get darker, and I don't cross eyes. I literally just somehow shift them out of focus. Whoa. Well, that sounds pretty handy. Okay, well, let's just start painting. See what we can do. Actually, I see one little thing I want to change first. I think this needs to widen a bit more to convince us of the perspective. All right, there we go. So I'm gonna lower the opacity so I can barely see it. We'll go about 25%, 30%, somewhere around there. Thanks, Leaf. Okay. Aw. Well, thanks, Lenia. I hope your stuff goes well. Do you make Twitch emotes? I did create my emotes, but I'm not taking emote commissions at the moment. I'm sorry about that. But Mills, what is the command we have for emotes? We have a bunch of people in this community that are really good at making emotes if you're looking for recommendations. It's just emotes? Okay, that's very makes sense. Thank you, Mills. You should check out those people. They make really good emotes. Hi, Dapper! Happy Friday! Right, Hades. Like, the elusive command. I don't know their individual prices, but you can always inquire about that. Okay, so I always start with a background gradient for the sky. And that kind of sets the mood, it kind of gives information about the time of day and atmosphere and everything like that. And it helps because the other colors we're gonna choose will kind of be relative to that. So the sky is a good place to start. I like to try to get rid of a white space on the canvas as soon as possible. So let's now move to the mountains. And I think what I'm going to do is make a new layer that has basically everything else except for the sky. We're going to keep the sky on its own layer behind this, and we will just put all of this on one layer. So I'm just holding shift to add to my selection and keep being able to add pieces. Holding Alt to subtract from the selection until I'm happy with the silhouette I have here. And then I'm just going to pop any old color in there, honestly. I mean, we can go for a brown color, but just to save that shape that I selected. Oh, thanks, Stapper. I hope so. This one looks a little, it looks like a potentially difficult one, but I'm gonna be optimistic about it. Do you know, oh, you know how you paint the background first with gouache and how to make a gradient? Well, there are mountains that make the sky an irregular shape. Do I paint over the mountains? There are mountains that make the sky an irregular shape. I don't know if I can picture that, Mr. Random Knees. Can you, I don't know, I might be missing something really obvious because that happens. But can you try to like explain that in another way? Somehow I'm confused. Thanks, Dapper. So what I'm gonna do now is lock the transparency. I'm gonna press the little checkerboard icon up here on the layers palette when I have this layer selected. So now I can use the airbrush just because it's like the easiest brush that I can just make it really large and do some big sweeping paint. Wind, thank you for the host. Thank you very much. Welcome. We're doing some landscape painting here. How was your stream? Hey there, Wind. Thank you, thank you. We're doing a timed landscape study. It's called a virtual plein air, if anybody is not familiar with it, if anyone's curious. Thank you, Wind. What were you up to? So do I use a big brush and paint horizontally? If I do that, I'm gonna go over my line art for the mountains, or do I work around the mountains? Oh, okay. Yes, I do get it. Usually I will just paint the smooth wash because you're gonna get the smoothest results if you do that first, and then I'll just paint the mountains on top of it. If you keep the wash light enough, you will be able to see your pencil lines underneath there. If not, you'll have to wing it without them. But I think the best results will be if you paint the wash first and then go on top, rather than going around. Thank you, Snuff. Thank you. Good, shortish again. I feel like I run out of focus too fast. When I started streaming, I couldn't stream longer than 3 hours at a time, and even after that I felt really tired and fried. So it definitely takes some time. But if you want to share anything from your stream, you're welcome to. Thank you, Caramel. So I'm going to use a brush that I have started to use recently. It's in my brush pack. It's a rectangle brush. It's in my Painterly brush set. But what I did was I turned on color dynamics. So that's not on by default, but you can turn it on. I'm just experimenting with using a brush with color dynamics because if you turn on hue jitter and brightness jitter, it will cause this kind of a natural situation with your brush where it makes this like striping. I don't want it to be that much, but just a little bit of it can be a cool effect and kind of make it look like there's more detail than there actually is in a place. So I think that's kind of interesting. Was messing with my headphones. Oh yeah, if you want to share anything that you are working on stream, you're welcome to. You're welcome to post it in the chat. So I'm gonna choose a dark color that's like, it appears to be a dark reddish going towards purple. Very, very dark, so it's basically brown, I guess. And starting to paint in over the mountains. But you see how the brush texture, and you know, it might be a personal taste thing. You might not like this with the stripy stuff, but I think it's kind of a nice way to start and then paint on top of it to refine and give more specific texture, more purposeful texture. But as a way to start, I think it's kind of nice because it gives you at least something's going on there. It's not just like a flat color. Cat portrait, nice. So yeah, let's continue. So this mountain here is casting a shadow that's falling all the way up here, and it's almost the same value. I think we could maybe do value grouping between those. I'm gonna turn down the hue, jitter, and brightness a little bit. It's getting intense on the smaller area. But yeah, I think we can basically group these into a shape. So I'm looking for opportunities to do that. And I can choose. So another tip is with your eraser. Dapper! Thank you. Thank you for gifting a sub to Merubot. Thank you for keeping Merubot in emotes. Thanks, Dapper. So I'm looking for a color for the river, and what I might do here is actually just select it and do my lasso tool airbrush favorite technique. So I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. I tend to like to paint water by making a gradient and then adding little texture on top. Hi Mizu! So new layer, and I'm gonna grab the airbrush and start painting in the water. So we can I can either erase out on the edges. See how it's gonna get a little bit more gold. Not sure if this helps. Let's see. Ah, yes, Applebee, the no-tan type of sketch. That's also what Mills was talking about a little bit. I saw in the chat. Yeah, this kind of thing is, some artists will sketch something out like this ahead of time to just organize the values first. I do think it helps, actually. I mean, it's a bit noisy because that's what this picture looks like, and that's what the hard thing about it. But it's a good thing to keep in mind. Okay, I'm actually going to use it. Thanks, Applebee. Usually, do people never drew a cat before? Guys, look at this. Look at this precious face. Is this your cat? Or is it a random cat or friend's cat? That's pretty awesome. Really nice details. Aww, it's gonna be really cute. It's a commission. Oh, cool. Well, nice job. All right, so let's get a little bit of a brighter blue for the center where the light's hitting most strongly. And can merge that down. I tend to like to create new layers, paint on them until I'm happy with what I've done, and then merge it down after that. So I kind of like to have that safety net of having it on a separate layer, just so I can kind of turn the layer on and off and make sure I want to commit to something first. But that being said, I like to merge the layers as soon as I do feel comfortable with what I have, because I find especially in like a timed painting, it helps me to keep moving. So I'm looking for a desaturated, warm-ish, gray, creamy color. This painting has been really difficult to not color pick from the reference, because I'm trying to, for these studies, I never color pick from the reference. And it's okay if you do, especially if you're starting out, but I definitely advise at some point trying to use these exercises to break away from that, because it will really help with your color theory and just make you faster, and it's fun. But some paintings are harder than others. Like this one, I'm finding it's really tough to look at the painting and see what the color is that I'm looking at. Ixar, thanks for the host. Thank you. Hi, Grappler. Yeah, am I following Wind? Let me give you a follow. Thank you again for hosting. Mr. Randomly says, I'm currently trying to fill in my canvas. Lots of white spots. Do you focus on each shape individually when doing traditional, or do you put an overall color and then paint colors on top? Yes, exactly what you said. So I like to put the colors on. I do kind of the same thing as what I'm doing here. Is like I try to block out the big shapes and then go back on top and start detailing. Otherwise, I have a really hard time visualizing. I hate having white space on the canvas. Code Arting, hello, so happy I can finally watch your streams. I'm glad you're here. Welcome and happy Friday. We're doing a group study, so anybody who's just arriving, you're welcome to join in. I know this is a little bit of a tough one, but we're doing a landscape painting based on the reference you see above here. Jen! Jen, thank you for the 7 months. How are you? Looks like I missed a link. Thank you, Mills. Ooh, great realism. That's awesome. Hey, Jen.
Yay for 7 months.
How are you doing? I'm gonna try to just... I guess I'm taking a painterly approach to this one. I usually try to keep things more separate, I guess. Like, I tend to... I'm trying to get better at seeing the big shapes and kind of emphasizing them. But when I look at this painting, or when I look at the reference even, it's like I have a hard time. The hue and value of the grasses and the bushes and everything, they're just so close together. It's like, without zooming in on the reference, it's hard for my eyes to read the separation between them. So maybe I should just kind of embrace that and take a painterly approach to this one and see if we can do something we like in that direction. Oh, really? Dilemma? Aww. Well, there's a cat that lives in my neighborhood that literally looks exactly like that cat, the grumpy cat. It's always super grumpy. It belongs to my neighbors, like right diagonal across outside the front. Right out my front door. And so many times when I open the front door to walk outside, that cat is just standing, looking directly at me, just giving the most grumpy face, just the most angry looking face. Dapper, thank you. Thank you for gifting a sub to Nightbot. Tesla, Ixar, good to see you all. I hope you're doing good, Hades. Yeah, that's really sad, but I don't know how old the cat was. Hopefully he had a good life. I don't even know if it's a he, but hopefully the cat had a good life. I laughed at the wrong time. Oh, fantastic. I finally figured out a really complex origami model and got some new gadgets that are top of the line. Nice. Very cool. That's exciting. New tools to play with. Art stuff. It's a she. Grumpy Cat was a she. Aww, only 7. That is sad. Apparently someone is trimming trees outside or something. I don't know. There's some loud noises. I hope it's not gonna pick up too much on this stream. Electronics and computer upgrade. Okay, cool. Very nice. Okay, so right now what I want to do is get more of a feeling of distance. So what I'm going to do is the river and the sandy area next to it, I need to pick a color that's more appropriate for shadow. So something maybe a little darker value-wise, and let's shift the hue towards blue. Maybe not that much. I've seen Cena on your art station. I'm tempted to watch the whole series again. Aww. Love your work. It's bright and saturated. Thank you. Even when I try to keep my colors like natural, I always end up going super saturated. I guess I just love it. But I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, wind is exactly right, Grappler. You always have to make some bad drawings along the way, you know? Everyone's bad when they start. Some people start as kids, so there's kind of the illusion that they never were bad, because when you look at a kid's drawing and it's, you know, and it looks like a kid's drawing, everyone's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how kids draw. But it's not just how kids draw, that's also how people of any age have to start out, you know? You can't just draw perfectly from the start. You got to get that. You have to train your sight and your hand-eye coordination and technique and everything. It's a lot. But no pressure. I'm not saying you have to jump in and start doing it. If you enjoy watching and appreciating art, you're more than welcome to do that. You don't necessarily need to get into art making. But if you want to, you can. Like, it is possible to learn. I had gone to bed early because I have a doctor's appointment. Now I can't sleep anymore and I'm here. Aww, Ixar. Well, I'm glad we get to see you. I'm sorry about your sleep though. That looks way too good, Red. Oh my gosh. I just ate, but I'm already like, okay, I can have some of those fries. New to Twitch, so question, why are people gifting subs to random unknown people? Oh, okay, so Dapper was gifting subs to the bots so that they are able to use the emotes and things when they're posting information in the chat, which was really nice, and it helps, and it also supports me. Twitch has some options where you can gift subs anonymously just to be nice, and it will choose from it will choose to give the subs to, well, okay, so I guess I'm explaining this wrong. You can gift anonymously or not anonymously, and you can choose to gift subs to random people, or you can select the person yourself. But sometimes people will say like, okay, I'm gonna give 5 gift subs to the community, and then it will automatically pick the people based on, you know, people that have been just hanging out in the stream, in the viewer list, or, you know, people that recently followed, all these kinds of things. I don't really know how it chooses everything. Yeah, I would love that, Jen. Definitely. Oh, well, Grappler, in that case, I would suggest starting with sketching on paper. That's how I started, and I know it might not be as interesting if you want to get into digital and that's like what you're passionate about. I know drawing on paper might seem a little boring, but it will help you. Like a lot of people that I know that are artists that do digital work started traditionally. It's not a requirement, but any of the stuff that you're learning traditionally is going to transfer. You know, all those skills are transferable. So if you start practicing traditional when you can afford a tablet in the future, you're going to be so much ahead having the practice. Hey, Mr. Blu-ray. All right, let me check out what Jen was working on. It's an octopus! Whoa! I have literally never seen an origami octopus before, ever. I didn't even know that was possible. That is super cool. That's a crazy level of detail. Hey, animation. That's awesome. Yeah. Guys, why is this painting so hard? Well, what time is it? Okay, we still have time. I'm not going to give up, but I should probably start doing something on this side of the canvas. There's nothing there at all. 100 of folds and I almost rage quit. I'm glad you stuck with it. That's really cool. I've never seen an origami like that before. There was a part 2. Oh, the underside. Yeah, you can really appreciate all those little folds in there. That's pretty crazy. Jen, what the heck? That's patience. That is real patience. Hey, Coffee Waffle! Happy Friday! I'm just gonna try to get a little bit of hue variation everywhere so it starts feeling more alive, and then that's my plan. And maybe I'm looking at Applebee's value thing, try to get that working too. So we'll keep this warm color hitting here. Is anybody having trouble finding the right colors on this one? Now I want Coffee Waffle. Hey, Bliss Pixel. That does sound good. Yeah, everything's good here. Everything's good here. Today's gonna be a good day. We can do some group studies. Later today, we're gonna have art club, art show. So we're gonna look at everybody's artwork that did studies of the past couple weeks, reference images that we had. So we're gonna get a little art show. Aw, thanks, Inner Glow. Well, I'm honored. I'm honored to be your first sub. Thank you for supporting this stream. I'm punching myself not to color pick, so we'll see later. I rarely feel like this anymore. After making a bunch of paintings without color picking, I mean, it's been I don't even know how many, but we do this every stream, so it's like really adding up. It's a lot. And I rarely feel the desire anymore that I need to color pick. I usually feel pretty free with my painting, but right now I'm really feeling restricted. So we're gonna power through. We're gonna keep going. Hoping to get a computer for my birthday. Nice. Well, I hope that works out. So one thing that I'm doing to try to help myself figure out what colors where is looking at the colors in relationship to each other on my canvas and seeing, like, for example, this area right on the coast, right on the river's edge here, I think that looks a little bit warmer than what I had. So I'm just I'm picking the color that's already there and then going to the color wheel and then shifting it towards red instead of orange, you know, just trying to slowly get to the right colors. The river has some crazy value variations. The middle is quite bright, but it's very dark at both edges. This is a tough beast. Maybe I should start getting more of the values in, like I hadn't done any of the foam, the water foam in the river. So maybe I should start with that to help it be able to help us visualize what's happening here. This also helps show distance a little bit. I'm gonna take the smudge brush and smudge that a little bit to give a feeling of motion. Oh, thank you, Jen. It's been getting much better with practice as we keep doing this, although some days are better than other days. You know how that is. For whatever reason, some days you're a little more on than other days. Too much water as usual? Let me see. You're moving fast, Mr. Randomies. I think this is going well. Okay, I see what you mean with the mountains. You can see through to the sky a little bit. But that's can be a technique also, because depending on how you lay down the paint, you can kind of get the illusion doing that the sky is, instead of showing through to the sky, that the sky is reflecting on the mountains. Like, you can kind of make that work. I've seen some painters use that in that way, but I think it's difficult. I tend to not use the transparency like that. I tend to just go for it with like painting the color over top that I want. Hi, Mitch. Ashley, good to see you. Thanks for the host. Alright, so there's some rocks on the edge of the water here, and I think it would be good if I blocked them in. We don't have to block in every rock shape. Like, we don't have to draw every rock in all sides of it and have it, you know, make sense. But I think if you can do a couple, then your brain starts to fill in the rest, and you can allow some abstract shapes. And your brain will be like, oh, that's a rock like the other ones. But we have to spend that time on a couple of them, otherwise it won't work. Hi, Kenji. Aw, dilemma. Well, sometimes you just have to pause for some cuddles. All right, I'm gonna try to bring in some of this shadow, darker values over here behind the rocks. Go into lurk mode? Okay, okay, Coffee. Good luck with everything. I'm gonna flip the canvas and flip my reference on the other monitor. Hey, Abby. Yeah, Tesla, exactly. Interpolating. There we go. The brain is good at interpolating. Now, if you show an example that this is what this looks like. So that's the idea that you can texture and detail things in the focal point areas of a painting and then, you know, fade out with that level of detail. You don't have to do it everywhere. You can be looser at the edges because your brain already is kind of told, oh, this is what this looks like. So as you get farther away from it. Aww.
This should help you on your artistic journey, Tilda.
Mitch, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you for the donation. That's very kind of you. I appreciate you supporting this stream and supporting my art. Thank you very much. Ashley says, ouch, but awesome at the same time. I'm doing good, sipping some tea, getting ready to start my day with wonderful Maddie in chat. Good to see you, Ashley. Enjoy your tea. Hope you're gonna have a great day. I'm trying to make something of this painting. I'm finding it really difficult. But we have time. We have 35 minutes left, so I'm complaining, but apparently we have time more, so we can make something happen. The highlighted areas make a difference. Let's keep adding the highlights. I don't really understand what's going on up here. There's a little cliff or something, and the way that the rock formation is going, I don't really get it. But let's just put some shadow on this side. Highlights. I'm gonna try to wing it. Oh, thanks, Ashley. The color picking has been difficult on this one. I think it's a lot of neutral colors that are very close to each other in hue. Hi, Mary. Hey, Cyclone. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's flip this. And what else can we do? I've been using the same brush this whole painting so far. Well, actually, that's not true. I did use the airbrush a little bit at the beginning. But other than that, I've been using the same brush. And I think that can help give some cohesiveness, or like if you're going for a painterly look, it can work. But when we get to painting the river and the foam and all that kind of stuff, I don't know if I need to maybe switch to something else. I think your shadows are warmer and your highlights are cooler. It looks nicer than the photo. Oh, thank you, Jen. I like to exaggerate the cool shadows. That's definitely, it's definitely a fun thing to do because, I don't know, blues and purples are just really nice to look at. I think that's something that you get the feeling of that more when you're outside, but then in a photo it doesn't seem to come across as much sometimes. So I think it's nice if we can sort of add it back in a little bit. If we can imagine it back in, the feeling of being there. Thank you for the follow. Don't forget the house. Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. The house is pretty bright compared to everything around it, so it will stand out a bit. There's actually, I guess there's two houses. Well, I guess if you zoom in, there's actually a couple, but we're just gonna maybe paint this one. So let's pick a blue-gray because it's a white house and half of it is in shadow and it's pretty blue.
Can't have you getting cold feet.
Applebee, thank you for the socks. I finally put some on my wish list. Thank you. They're so cute. They're really cute. They're like little animal designs on each one. I'm gonna wear them on my feet for real. I'm not going to make them into hand gloves like this one. They're too cute for that. Oh, Minnie! Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, guys, I just want to show something really quick. I was watching Minnie before my stream. I was hanging out in Minnie's stream, and I absolutely loved all the stuff you were working on. I just want to show really quick. First of all, there was a narwhal unicorn mermaid. Here, let me put where the shout out's not going to overlap it. Yeah. Isn't that awesome? The great sock drought is over. And there's more. Hold on. Wait, did I open them out of order? There's 3 things I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, then there's a griffin. But the last thing that I think was my favorite, get ready for this. I hope this is the one I was, yes! Guys, look at this. It's a demon ghost cat. But it's a cool, really cool design, but look at my favorite part. Is this ghost. The cat's cool too, but like, look at this ghost. Okay, everything is making me very happy about this. So guys, go check out Minnie. Thank you for showing me the update. I really wanted to see the last one finished. Socks on your wish list, you're old. No! No. Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe I can add a minute or 2 to my timer at the end here. What other links am I missing? From Ashley. Finished a special doggo memorial watercolor. Aww. He looks super happy, he or she. I like the shine on the nose. Good texture. So floofy. So floof. And we have another update from Old River. Yeah, but I think you're doing better with the eye. I remember you were struggling with this eye being in the shadow. Good job, guys. Thanks for the art updates. Yeah, I'll just like add some time real quick. Did I put the right? Yeah, there we go. We'll just add a couple minutes to the timer. All right. So let's go back to the house here. I'm gonna paint it all in shadow first. And then there's some light hitting on the right side. And I'm just gonna treat this like it's just abstract shapes. We don't have to necessarily have it make perfect sense or explain everything. I think it will, if we get the right shapes that indicate like a roof at a distance, I think it's gonna look like a house, I hope. Let's just zoom out and see. Well, meh. It's a bit intense. Bye! Thank you for the raid. Welcome. How was your stream? Hi, Polly. It's a poem? Well, Mitch, when it comes to, it's really easy for me to see like visual art shares and things because we can just open it really quick. When it comes to like poems, music, or videos, I prefer for people to share it in the Discord for the community to check off stream because it's a little easier to read those forms of art if you have a little more time than just a quick glance, you know? But if you care to join the Discord, you're welcome to share anything like that in there. Welcome, Pi. Thank you very much for the host or the raid. I hope you had a great stream. We're doing a timed painting right now, and it's being a bit of a challenge. We're trying to paint this scene in 75 minutes, and yeah, it's just a tough one, but going okay so far. And we'll probably do another landscape after this too. And basically what we're doing is chat is suggesting references, and then we all vote and paint the place that is selected. So this one was voted on. Now we're painting it. Stream was fun. Tired. Good night. Have a good rest of your stream. Sweet dreams, Pi. Thank you very much for the host, and sleep well. Get a good rest. All right, let's flip again. All right, I think there's a color back here that's slightly off. There's like a gray, yeah. It's like a gray, green, brown color. The heck? Let's turn this into black and white. I probably should have done that sooner. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Anonymous, for gifting a sub to Massive Pie. That's really sweet. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the stream and gifting Pi some emotes too. Aw, thanks, Mr. Random News. So looking at this in black and white, I can really see the areas that I need to work on the values, and I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to make a selection of the area that I want to be lighter and actually just, yeah, maybe just lighten that area without necessarily repainting stuff. This is I think the easiest way to fix that. So this area looks okay. There's some highlight here that should be there. Actually, this whole spot here should be a little bit higher contrast than it is. So making selection with the lasso tool. The only thing that really is light enough is the rocks. Hi Legion, how are you doing? So I'm going to new layer via copy or Control J. You can copy. So this is everything that I selected, and we can go do something as simple as going to brightness, contrast, and oops, wrong selection, and brightening those spots like this. And look at that difference. Boom. Now I think the water needs to be erased out a little bit. We just want that glow right in the middle. And we can erase out the edges if you want to blend these more. I don't have that kind of slider. Any ideas? Oh my gosh. That is the thing with traditional. It's like, oh, that is the biggest thing I miss with traditional art. People talk about Control Z, but I think the biggest thing is when you have something painted that's overall it's working in a lot of ways, but it just needs to be tweaked slightly. You can't really do that as easily in traditional, whereas in digital you can retain that thing that you painted and just do a quick edit to it and make it work. Where in traditional I find that you have to kind of just repaint more stuff that's like slightly off rather than being able to easily tweak it. That's what I miss more than Control Z, is like transform tools and stuff like that. Hey Rafi! I don't really use a lot of Photoshop tools because I don't know how to use them, so my digital workflow is similar to traditional. Well, there's a bonus to having a traditional kind of workflow in digital, definitely. Then you kind of just have that mindset from the start. So putting some browns here. And some of these darker values underneath the foliage. There's like little tufts of plants, little bushes and things. And they have I think that they are one of my favorite parts of this, so I haven't really given a lot of attention to them yet, but I'd like to now. We have enough time for it. Chill Zero, thank you. Yeah, it is Photoshop. We're doing something called virtual plein air. So we're painting from images that we take from Google Street View for practice of practicing different environments, textures, values as far as like shading, dark to light shading, and color. Color is a super important one. Hey Lee Art, good to see you. Happy Friday. Hey Kilgore, I'm doing good. Doing very good. Hope you're doing good. Having a good day so far. I feel like I've spent more time on the distant area than the foreground in this painting, but there is enough time left to remedy that, but it definitely needs more attention up here on the river and getting closer to the viewer. And there's some rocks here. We can actually establish some shape for them. Thank you, Mitch. Waiting for coffee? Sounds like a good idea. I have Photoshop? I didn't think I would be able to do this. Whoa, yeah, you can paint in Photoshop. Now, it is easier if you have a tablet of some kind. I mean, significantly. Like, it's really difficult to do this kind of painting with a mouse, but there are some affordable tablets nowadays as far as where you have a pen like this, a stylus, and then you can draw on, like, basically looks like a mouse pad or something. It's down on the table, and then you look up at your monitor, or you can use a screen tablet. That's what I'm using, where you actually draw right on the screen. So having a tablet of some kind is important. There are some people in the community that manage to make art using the mouse, but it can hurt your wrist, and it's really difficult to do, so I don't usually recommend doing that. Hi, Miha. Thank you. Hey, Outrower. That's what I did starting out. You were drawing with a mouse. One thing is a tablet, another is a pen. I got told that one... Oh, yeah. So if you some tablets come with the pen. I mean, I think a lot of them do. I think most of them do. An exception would be like the iPad. If you're going to paint on the iPad using Procreate or something, you have to buy the Apple Pen separately. But I hope most of them will come with a pen. But if they don't, or if you lose your stylus, it can be expensive. And losing a stylus is quite easy to do, unfortunately. We usually end up finding it on your chair or on the floor or somewhere in the kitchen where you walked to get a snack. Hey, Vile. Oh, there's plenty of stream left. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're on the first painting of the day. I don't know what to draw as face practice. Well, I would suggest just finding a reference photo. You can use like Pexels or Unsplash or a place like that if you want, and just look for a face that interests you. And best thing would be if it has some good natural lighting, not to stay away from stuff that have like fancy colored lighting and stuff, you know, neon lights and stuff like that. It might look cool in the photo, but natural lighting is going to be the best thing to study from, I think. just something simple and straightforward where you see the head maybe from 3/4, maybe straight on, whatever you like. But I would start with like something straight on or 3/4, and then in the future you could try like something from a lower angle or upper angle and start getting different angles. But you know, I think one step at a time. Rashi, thanks. Thank you. You can also look up, some videos by Proco. He goes over using something similar to the Loomis method and explaining how to draw faces and anatomy stuff, if you want to watch some of his videos. Have you seen them before? I feel like he's pretty well known in the art YouTube world, so I might be telling you something you already know, but Dilemma, if you look at Proco on YouTube, he's got some really good advice on that stuff. Yeah, practicing spheres and cubes and basic shapes is always a good thing. Yeah, exactly, Miha. Proco's a really good place to start. He explains things clearly, his videos are good. I mean, everything's just solid. Let's put some more rocks up here. Proco saved me some years ago. I was really struggling with faces. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense if you start breaking down the planes of the face, trying to think of it in that 3D. It really makes it easier to figure out where to position things. Like, where do the eyes go? Where does the nose go? Where does the mouth go? Just remembering that they all fit together and like have their places that they can like set into. Just a little bit of a different mindset really helps. I got this tablet and I highly recommend it if you want a screen tablet. It's about 400 USD. Wow, a screen tablet for that price is very reasonable. So this is the XP pen. Nice. Metallical, thanks for the suggestion. XP pen 15.6. Looks like it has good reviews on Amazon too. Aw, thank you, Anonymous. Thank you for gifting that sub. Thank you. We're down to 17 minutes. It feels like there's a lot to do still. Uploaded a few previews of my latest piece in the Discord. If you have a moment after the study, could you let me know what you think? Yeah, absolutely. Helen, don't let me forget. I don't think I will, but just pop it in the chat if I don't go get it. Yeah, Mr. Randomies, you can post it in the chat. I can always just pause the timer. Okay, so I want to work on the shape of the river bank a little bit because I feel like it has a more interesting shape than what I've illustrated. This part dips out a little bit, comes back in. Then over here, there's some little grasses and things. The light comes down here. like this. That makes sense. I like this spot over here. It almost looks like a dirt road. I'm having trouble understanding the scale of what I'm looking at. I don't know if it actually is a pathway or if it just kind of looks like one. But it's cool compositionally because it brings the eye back in towards the center point. So we can do it. We can use it. There's a little bit of light hitting right there. I'm trying to figure out what color. I'm at the point where right now I'm just kind of putting colors where I see them in the reference, not necessarily trying to worry about what is this that I'm painting. Is it a rock? Is it, you know, I'm not worried about what it is. I'm just kind of putting the colors where I see them in the reference. Sometimes this is a thing to do if you feel lost on your painting and you're painting from reference. You can just focus more on, like, you don't have to. There's actually exercises that focus on this where you turn the reference upside down, for example, because in that case you're really forcing yourself not to see what you think you know is there. So if you're doing a still life of like some fruit, you're like, oh, there's a banana, there's an apple, and you think you know what it is. So sometimes you start going in autopilot and just drawing your memory of that thing. And if you turn the reference upside down, it's forcing you to not do that. And anyway, it's the same kind of idea as like if you get stuck. Sometimes instead of trying to figure out everything you're looking at, like what exactly it is, you can just kind of focus on the shapes and colors that you see and don't try to understand everything. So Randomly says, I don't think there's a lot of readability, especially in the river, but I think I got a huge shadow, but I got the huge shadow shapes, but it still looks flat and I don't know where to go from here. All right, let's see. Thank you for the follow. Okay, cool. I think I see what's going on. And I think I can detect this right away because this was like something that I personally had a struggle with and had to like have a breakthrough with in the past, is like the river, it looks a little bit flat because you almost feel like we're getting an aerial view on the river because we're not seeing as much of the curves as are actually taking place. Like you want to imagine that you're on the helicopter looking down at the river and then you're like landing, you're like come down, or drone, you know, whatever, like visualize that you're coming down and you're looking at it from standing right next on the riverbank. You're gonna get that squished down view, you know, where it's like this. So you're gonna get a lot more of a dramatic, this kind of thing. You're gonna see the back and forth of the river. If that makes sense. All these little indentations in the river, they make it feel like, you know, it's going this way and this way and this way and this way, all into the distance. If it's going exactly straight all into the distance, it might actually, it's possible that a river could be that straight, but it's gonna kind of look confusing. It's hard to tell the distance, but if you exaggerate that more, then I think it will help. But I think like that's basically it. I think everything else just needs you to continue rendering. Maybe this area could kind of come up a little bit just to give more overlap. Like it's closer to us than the distant mountain. I like your explanation while drawing and the extra tip flipping the picture upside down. Very helpful. Awesome, Inner Glow. Thanks. I'm happy if it helps. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm gonna close this, I guess, Mr. Random Knees, but or maybe I'll just like put it over here. I'll keep painting mine. But yeah, pay attention to that stuff. Hey Tamar. How much time do we have left? Oh, the timer was paused anyway. Thank you, Mills. Okay. But yeah, that's why sometimes a reference can be really hard if it's a situation that just happens to be where, like, if this river was really straight or something, then it's something that works in a photo maybe, but then when you're trying to paint it, you're always going to be fighting like a weird optical illusion that happens. I don't know how to render though. I don't know where to continue, just looking for generic shapes and where the value goes, but I still feel it lacks dimension. You make things overlap and I think I lack that. Yeah, let's turn, maybe I can turn this into black and white really quick because I have the digital picture of it and so that might be handy. This was shared earlier by Appleby. This is a black and white version of the picture. So maybe just comparing that a little bit to your values could help see where to darken and lighten things. If that's part of the problem. But thanks for sharing your work in progress and letting us critique it, because I hope that can also help some other people as well. Where's my... There we go. Yeah, that makes it easier to see. In traditional, it's a little harder to get that unless you take a picture and then, you know, have a filter on your camera or something like that. Hey, Chloe. Oh, thanks, Lindra. Have a good day. All right, I'm gonna merge this down. New layer, and let's keep going. I'd like to, I'm kind of painting a little bit like what I do in gouache right now, where I'm going kind of darks to lights, darks first. So that way we can build stuff up. So right now I'm painting the darker greens and darker browns, and then I would like to go back on top of it with highlights of like where the top of the bushes are getting hit by light and stuff like that. But I have to kind of be patient and work up to that because I think it's just going to be better results if I do. So in a little bit, in a few minutes, we'll do that, and I hope it will bring things together a little bit. But I just find it easier. I've talked about this before. I find it a lot easier to paint, to kind of start with a darker surface and then paint highlights on top of it, because you don't have to then go and shade all these little details and crevices. You just kind of put the paint highlights coming out of a darker area, and your brain fills in more detail that way, so you can be lazy. I mean efficient. Thanks, Missouri. Welcome back. Welcome back. I need to be fast because this is a crazy reference. It's really hard. I wonder if we should put highlight back here. Nope, I think not. Trying to see if I want to sharpen up this shape in the back here. Thanks, Chloe. All right, new layer. Let's finally do the fun part, shall we? Okay, So I'm going to color pick from the bush that I already have here, and I'm going to go to my color wheel and just kind of drag it up to a lighter green and maybe put it a little bit more towards yellow to make it feel warm. If you color pick from a color already on your canvas and then kind of modify that color by going to the color wheel and shifting it a little bit, you're going to get, generally, you'll get colors that feel a little bit more cohesive than if you just randomly go to the color wheel and just stab at a new color. You can definitely do that, but I think it kind of depends on your color theory knowledge, how well it's going to work out. So I want to give a little texture to this bush. It's the closest one to the viewer. I don't know if this brush is really, I don't know. I'm just kind of hand painting a spiky texture. These bushes seem to have, like, you can see the little direction of the branches, so. So let's go to this bush here and do the same thing. A place that you can add texture easily to get a big effect is wherever you have highlights and shadows together. Wherever that overlap place is, that's where you can kind of have a couple texture points sticking out, and it'll have more effect than just trying to texture, or yeah, it'll have almost an equal effect to texturing the whole thing. You can kind of just do a little bit and it will give you the feeling. Thanks, Leaf. Heels.
In memory of dead gambled penguins, is that a cabin?
Yes, it is. It's a fancy cabin. Thank you for the bits, Heels. Happy Friday. Aww, inner glow. You guys are really sweet. Sometimes it's fun to, you know, I was kind of inspired to do this from Minisaurus's one brush painting from yesterday. Was that yesterday? Oh, it was from Wednesday. So I used the airbrush on this, but other than the airbrush, I've just been using this square brush the whole time. And I think I used the smudge brush a couple times. But basically it's been kind of minimal brush usage on the painting. And it's kind of nice. Metallical! Holy cow! Thank you! Thank you, Vaughn. Metallical, thank you for the huge support. Thank you for gifting those subs to Mint, Cream, Love, Lynn, Nakester, Borstis, and Lixpix. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the stream. How long have you been painting? So I have been painting about 6 years, like between 5 and 6 years I've done digital painting. And before that I did draw for a really long time, like my whole life basically. I started drawing when I was a kid and just always did drawing. So I didn't do painting until kind of recently, but that being said, about the time I started painting is when I started taking my art like really seriously and actually practicing a lot and watching tutorials and doing all that stuff. Before that, I was doing a lot of drawing from my head, kind of winging it, you know, that kind of thing. So I would say 5 to 6 years is the time that I've been like really working hard on my art. 5 minutes left. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna try to put the last finishing touches to pull this together. So last little highlights. Sometimes at the end when I'm doing virtual plein air, so when I'm doing these types of studies and I feel like I have a bit more detail to do and we're running out of time, one thing that I'll do is just kind of start scribbling in some detail. Not mindlessly, but in areas where I would ideally like to have had time to paint a lot more texture and stuff, instead of doing nothing, I will make the brush really small. For example, here where there's rocks and stuff, I'll make the brush pretty small and kind of act like I'm drawing and just kind of, you know, do like hatching marks and draw some little circles for texture and just like do what I can to make it look like there's something going on there. And sometimes that's enough. Like it's not gonna be it's almost like bringing drawing into the painting a little bit. But yeah, thanks, Minnie. I haven't done this in a really long time, so it's nice. It's nice to do. And I think it's cool to experiment with different workflows, you know? You can discover something new. Even if you decide, okay, I didn't really like that, I'm never gonna do it again. You still learn something from doing it once, and then... so yeah, it's been a really long time since I tried this. But it makes a nice cohesive feeling when you stick with the one brush. I'm glad you tried to do it. So. And I think the brush, this brush looks kind of like the one you were using too. I don't know if it actually is the same brush, but square brush. It is? Sweet. Very cool. Jeremy Fenske's brushes are so good. Yes, you're absolutely right. I have very similar taste in brushes to him, I think, because when I tried his brush set, I was just like, oh my gosh, yes. You know, everyone has different tastes. Sometimes you'll try someone's brush set and you'll be like, how on earth can they paint with this? This is a nightmare. And it's just because, you know, depending on your painting style, certain brushes might be ideal for you or might be horrible if you're using brushes that are like kind of particular. We must be almost out of time. Yeah. Yeah. I think the water I probably could have done a better job on. I'm just gonna put some last minute texture in the water. Also, I wonder if I should put a little bit of brush strokes in the sky too, just to make it not so perfect. Because I painted everything with this brush and then the sky is just a gradient. It feels a little lifeless. I do think that's a little better, actually. Make my own gradient. Hey, Jack. Where are you from? Yeah, okay, I guess Mills answered. Yeah, thanks. I'm from the US. I grew up and spent most of the time, my life in Florida, and now I'm living in the Netherlands. So I'm in the last little bit of a timed painting here, so that's why I'm kind of in a little bit of a focus mode, but I will check the chat in just a moment.
Maddie, time is up.
Time's up! Alright, well I hope the last little additions were good. Alright. Timer child. Yeah, the timer is always really startling. Do you like 3D animation? I'm new here. Yeah, I like to watch 3D animation stuff. I don't know anything about actually creating it, but yeah. Thanks, Helen. This one was tough. At the beginning, I was wondering what was gonna happen. I want to sneak in a little boop, boop, boop. Okay, I'm done, really. I'm done. Oh, thanks, Leaf. Yeah, it was nice. I ended up not going back to the mountains and having time to like do a lot more with them, but the hue variation on the brush really saved me. Love from India. Hi, thank you. Thanks, Jackson. All right, let's save it. If anybody painted along, you're welcome to share. If you're still working on it, no stress. I'm gonna, we're gonna do another one of these, and you can share it at any time. You were kind of suggesting it details you didn't have time for. Speaking of animation, I think they do that a lot in cartoons. That would make sense. That would make sense, especially because you can't. Yeah, it's really hard to do heavily detailed stuff in animation. Life hack. Okay, sounds good. Oh, thank you so much, Dapper. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ashley. So, if you want to make suggestions, all I ask is that they are from MapCrunch or Google Street View, stuff like that. You're welcome to make a suggestion on what the next painting might be. Let me check out what Lenya sent. Not a suggestion, but I think everyone needs to see this. Oh my gosh, guys. What a moment. That's really sweet. That'd be pretty cool to see. A little heart cloud. So I'm gonna take a quick break to get some more coffee before we go to the next painting. But maybe that will give people some time to upload their artworks in the chat too, if anyone wants to share. So I'm going to take like a very quick break, and then I'll come back and see your guys' artworks, and we can pick out the next thing that we're gonna paint together. That's a good idea, Mr. Randomies. It's hard sometimes to make yourself stop at that point when you're not like super stoked about it, but I think that's the key, is like you're gonna get better. It's more the journey than that specific painting. Here are my pictures I was talking about earlier. Oh yeah, thank you, Helen. Okay, let me look at this and then I'll take a coffee break. This is super cool. Oh my gosh, this actually, I kind of recognize this setting. What first impressions, and if there's anything glaringly wrong. Okay. This is so cool. Let me close the reference up here. I really love this. I like this detail. Nothing's bothering me here. Let me open this in Photoshop really quick. I see one thing I can suggest. Yeah, I remember that one. I remember it. I think if we turn it into black and white, I think that the castle is having the darkest values on them right now, and I think on it, and I think that it should be they should be a little lighter, or other places could be a little darker. So I'm just gonna color pick from the sky and just put some like atmospheric light on this because it's in the, it's high up. So I think maybe just lightening that a little bit. Just fading some of these darks out a little bit might work. But yeah, that's it. And then in black and white, you don't see, your eye doesn't get hung up there. This is so pretty. I really like this. I want to go here. The birds and everything give a great scale, and it just feels like a nice place. Helen, thanks for letting me paint on that.